Okay, last try, I guess. If it's not working right now, then I don't know what happened. So, okay, let's try this again. I restarted the stream. I'm gonna update a post I just made. Because I guess the link is not right anymore here. Posts. Okay. Edit this. Update URL. You don't see anything of this because it's on my secondary monitor. Okay. So, but now I hope we should be good. We should be good, I think. And live. Yes. Okay. So we're live. Okay, let's do this again. Let's watch some Tech Vim Terminal YouTube right now. Just gonna start with. Let's start with Bread on Penguins. A more philosophical video, I guess. Not so technical right now. Doesn't look like it. Let's see what it's all about.
Okay, listen. So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go to an empty room or somewhere outside like this, like just a field, with a blank piece of paper and a pen. And 0 distractions. That's the important part, okay? No phone, no laptop, no books to read, even though books are great. No books to read, no music, nothing. 0 distractions. Because the goal here is being bored. You have to train yourself to be okay with being bored. Be comfortable with the boredom. Because boredom is what is going to allow your thoughts to recenter themselves, okay?
I see where she's getting at. In this world with so many distractions right now, you don't even have the time to think about stuff, about yourself, about what you want to do with your life. I don't know, you can't reflect. So busy these days with all the notifications and all the social media. Yeah, I try to minimize that, but I'm really seldom alone in nature like she is, obviously here. Let's see what she has to say.
My view, a lot of the issue with everybody struggling to focus, everybody struggling with like finding their path in life, their purpose, the issue is that there is so much distraction and our focus is pulled away constantly. And there's so much information entering our brains at all times. How are you supposed to isolate out your own purpose when you're seeing 50,000 other people's purposes constantly? How are you supposed to do that? You have to just isolate your own thoughts and not allow all of this information in at all times. I'm not saying do a whole, move to a cabin in the woods, bro. It's just going to work out. I'm not saying do that. I am saying, though, you have to take some.
Sometimes moving to a cabin in the woods seems really, really tempting.
Time to allow yourself to just be alone with your thoughts. And because you're taking in so much information 24/7, you need somewhere for that information to go back out. And that is where the piece of paper comes in, right? That is why you bring just a piece of paper or a notebook. If you have a favorite notebook, bring your favorite notebook. Bring a notebook and just write. And if you can't think of something to write, just draw. And it doesn't matter what you write, okay? You don't have.
Sounds like good advice. Although I shouldn't be drawing because I'm really terrible at drawing. I would write rather than draw some of my thoughts.
To be an artist to draw. You can just draw whatever comes to mind. You don't have to write anything specific. I mean, sometimes I'll just go out with a piece of paper and I just come back with like a grocery list. Like, you don't have to write something specific. Just write whatever is on your mind. Just
a very thoughtful grocery list. That's great.
Just get it out of your mind. But I will say a lot of the purpose of doing this overall for me has been answering like bigger life questions or finding bigger solutions to problems that I'm encountering myself in my life. That is a lot of the purpose of doing this for me, at least. I've found, if I'm experiencing like a creative block where I can't think of like what direction I want to take a project in, doing this has allowed me to, over time, I let my thoughts wander, and then they just recenter and they come back with the direction. And I know that sounds like a little bit of like, okay, that's kind of a magic fix. Is it just gonna work, bro? Is it just gonna do it? I think if you practice this over time, and I shouldn't say I promise, if you practice this and you keep doing this over time, it will work. It will work. You have to practice it though, and it is probably going to be kind of hard to do at first because
Yeah. I think I'm... Oh, Thiago, hi. Now we get a chance to chat live again. Oh, and SM Natale is here also. I hope. You said the pronunciation was all right, I think. Cool. Very cool. Not being alone anymore. Woohoo! Yeah, let's go. Just again watching some random videos in this newly created account just for viewing on stream. Yeah, I mean, Bread on Penguins is also a tech channel, but she's having a broad mix of things. She's also like a little bit like Luke Smith or Timothy, Sylvan Franklin. I mean, they tend to sprinkle in some other kinds of videos, more philosophical style. But yeah, technical videos, and this is just a short video of Bread on Penguins about going out in the woods or some place where you're not distracted, without a phone, without anything that can distract you, just to think, write down your thoughts, draw something. Yeah, that's what she's advertising here. And I think it's good advice in this fast line work here. Yeah, that could very well be Thiago. She has a lot of Linux tutorials. She also has an Arch install, I think, and many more technical videos. But she's also making music and taking pictures, I think, photography. I don't know. I'm not completely... I haven't completely seen or heard everything from her, but I read, or I saw that she posted stuff like that. Yeah. Still, I'm not sure if I'm gonna post videos like that on this channel here, but I guess with these live streams here right now that are more like conversational a little bit and watching some stuff other people are doing, maybe I'll also try out different other formats. Let's see how people respond to that. Yeah. Oh, she's at 104k subscribers already. Oh my god. I think her channel is not that much older than mine. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's nice to not be alone here. Last week there also was a nice guy here, like Chris something. I forgot the complete name. And I could talk with someone while watching these videos. I don't know. I have so many ideas, Natale. I guess Natale is your first name, right? Probably also Italian based. No, like heritage. A little bit. Like my father's also Italian. Yeah, I have many ideas. I have not so much time to record and to edit right now. Ah, okay. Sam. Ah, okay. I'm from Germany. I'm based in Germany. My mom is also German. My dad is Italian, but he came here back in the 70s. Yeah. So where are you based, you two? Like Thiago? Yeah, I don't know. My accent is all over the place. I speak seldom. So my English was a little bit better, but I don't speak that much actually, just for the videos right now. I'm working in a IT consultant company. Yeah, I thought you were from the UK. Oh, German heritage. Cool. Yeah, but I lost my train of thought here. Yeah. About my English. Yeah, in the project before we were talking English because it was an international team, but the project I'm in right now, they only speak German. So not much time to practice. Yeah. In Brazil, cool. UK and Brazil. It's really cool how this little channel gives you so much opportunity to connect with other people, right? All over the world. But for now, let's go on and watch this video. German heritage, actually. I actually also don't speak Italian, so not so cool. But my dad was working a lot of the time and he didn't really speak Italian at home. Yeah, okay. So 3 of a kind here. Cool. So let's hear what I actually don't know her name. I guess it's not Brad. But yeah, let's see what she has to say.
The whole goal is not having that instant distraction, that instant allowing your mind to be distracted by all of this information that's coming into it. You have to just isolate out your own thoughts. Now, I also want to talk about the bigger question of finding purpose in life, since I know that's something that a lot of us are struggling with now. I think, there's multiple generations who are really, really struggling with that. I'm probably going to make a longer video about that at some point, but I did want to give you one really quick trick for finding purpose. And that trick is helping other people, okay? If you can find anywhere in life that you can help other people, whether it is as simple as if you have like younger relatives, like younger cousins, and they want to...
That's actually pretty great advice here. Helping other people gives you some sort of meaning, right? It's also why when I was in university, like I took the, I don't know, like what is it called like a TA or something? Not really. I was like helping other people with some computer science stuff. And yeah, like worked for the university there. And it was really rewarding and also probably one of the reasons why I started this channel. Yeah.
like play video games with you, fine, go do that with them. Make once a month, make a time to go do that with them. Or something like volunteering at a food bank or an animal shelter or anywhere else. Maybe you have a neighbor who's older and needs some help with some stuff. Go help them, okay? Literally do something that will help somebody else. That will bring you purpose in life. If you want to just get purpose instantly, find fulfillment instantly,
Oops.
that is the way to do it. I think
Guess
that
you
will
heard
work
that.
for like 95%
Very loud.
of people. If you can
Motorcycle or something like that. Let's get back here.
in life. If you want to just get purpose instantly, find fulfillment instantly, that is the way to do it. I think that will work for like 95% of people. If you can help other people, that will bring you purpose, and that will help you isolate out your greater purpose, right? That will help you figure out over time, maybe this is what I want to be doing in life. Because as humans, we're built, we're built to be taking care of each other. A lot of us are gonna find our best purpose. We're gonna find fulfillment in helping each other, helping the world, helping make the world a better.
Yeah, you have. When I was young, I always wanted to get a motorcycle, but now that I'm old and I have a kid, I guess I won't do that anymore.
Place. That is what almost all of us want. So if you can just jumpstart yourself by just helping some people or just going to volunteer somewhere that needs the help, that will jumpstart you to finding fulfillment and finding purpose in your life. I'm probably going to talk about these at length in other videos, but I did want to just make this video because, yeah, I had the idea for I should just tell you, just do this and get you started practicing it. Just go eliminate the distraction, write down your thoughts, isolate your thoughts, be alone with your thoughts. Anyways, hope this was helpful. I will see you next time. Peace.
Yeah, cool video, cool message. Also, I'm thinking maybe it's also like a video format one could try out. Just go somewhere in nature and just talk about stuff from the top of your head or something like that. It's probably not so much time invested in there and real, authentic. Maybe I will do rambles. Exactly. Yeah, maybe I'll try that. If I can manage to talk without so many ahs and oohs and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, let's see what else she's got here. So what are the most popular videos on her channel right now? Oh, that seems interesting. Oddly useful Linux tools. So some kind of video I also made already, I think. Or I always plan to make. Not sure if I released one. Dream music player. Yeah, stuff like so these videos in the woods are sprinkled in between the tech videos. Ah yeah, okay. 2 weeks ago, no niche, 100k subscribers, and she's all over the place with her channel. I guess that's what she meant. But it seems to work. It seems to work. But it's also really great content. With this account, I haven't watched any videos because I just made it last week. And it's not my usual account. But I don't know. Do you wanna see one of these, or should we skip to another person? Maybe something technical, just to keep a little bit of the channel's main theme here. Full productivity workflow. How about that? Oh yeah, that's you're like hitting 2 flies with 1 quad or something. Yeah, sounds good. Okay, let's do that.
Hey, what's up? So I'm
gonna
going to
full
walk
screen
you
it this
through
time.
my entire productivity workflow start to finish, both the Linux tools that I use as well as my physical notebook structure, which is pretty much the backbone of the entire workflow here. So anyways, I'm going to put timestamps in the description and I'll put other notes on screen as needed.
That's so interesting. This mix of analog and digital. I tried it a few times, but I haven't managed a good systems to, I don't know, keep an overview of the written stuff and manage to get it into my digital note-taking system. How about you guys? Have you some kind of mixed workflow, or are you all digital or all analog? Or all like NeoVim? Or maybe, I don't know, Thiago, maybe you're on Emacs now. You said you're not working with Vim anymore so much. I see. I also have Obsidian. You use Notepad? Cool. Yeah. I still struggle to find a good syncing solution for when I'm not using Obsidian. So I'm using Obsidian exactly because I can also have work on my vault in UVim, but I have to have Obsidian to sync it, and I also have access to the notes on my phone, right? It's like this is my hybrid workflow there, but I'm still on the lookout for maybe something else. Oh, cool. I also have terrible handwriting. At least if I'm like in a hurry and just scribble notes. So sometimes it's even so bad that I can't read it anymore after a few weeks or something. Okay, let's see how she handles that.
Okay, so my reasoning is this, right? I can type way faster than I can physically write. But there are definitely times where it makes a lot more sense to physically take notes because you've got a page in front of you that you can visually map out your thoughts and your ideas and big picture outlines, and you're also going to remember things you write down a lot more when you physically take notes. You know, if I want to make a to-do list for things that I got to get done, I'm going to physically write that down. But there are also obviously times when it makes more sense to use a computer for notes because, I mean, yeah, my typing speed is way faster than my handwriting.
Yeah, I can relate. In university, I wrote digitally and on an iPad, so I had a little bit of the best of both worlds. Griply, I haven't heard of that. Last to-do app I used was Todoist, actually. Guess, but it's been a while. Now I'm just putting everything in notes and in a calendar, like Google Calendar right now, but still also thinking about moving away from the whole Google thing. With YouTube, it's a little bit problematic, I guess, to leave YouTube and Google when you're having a YouTube channel, but yeah, that's the one thing.
And lots of other stuff too. I mean, things like you can move text around really easily, and you can copy in links and put in code blocks and all sorts of other stuff. So my system overall is honestly very minimal, and that is intentional, okay? I think it's important not to get caught up in the idea of like use a million different productivity software pieces and like have this huge complex workflow. Don't do that, okay? Literally do not do that. Have very simple tools that solve problems for you, and you have your workflow and just keep it. Don't get caught up in like the culture of you gotta get all this various software. That said, I have essentially three things I use, okay? I take notes in Markdown files. At one point, I used to use plain text, but I've switched to Markdown just for like the syntax highlighting. I think that does make it a little bit nicer. So Markdown notes, NeoVim, but that's arbitrary because it's Markdown. I could switch text editors and it wouldn't be a problem. And then I use rsync to sync my notes. And that's basically the whole.
Okay, she's actually using rsync. Okay, for the syncing. Yeah, Obsidian is nice, I think. You can also have this Vim mode or VI mode. I have it enabled, of course, and you can have there's also a plugin, I guess, to have it modify with your VimRC or something like that. Yeah.
workflow. The only other thing is my dmenu notes script, which I've shown a few times. That's how I have my notes organized pretty much. I can just fuzzy search through them or, do various stuff. I can create a new note, and I added in this syncing option directly into my notes menu. Previously, I had my rsync commands all in a different rsync script, but I figured I should just stick it right in the notes menu, so it's like right there, ready to go, and I can just, do the sync. It's going to sync up to my ThinkPad. I've got a
Okay, she's manually triggering the sync every time. I tried that at first with Obsidian, and I put stuff in a Git repository because there's also a Git plugin. And then I also use an iPhone, and there it was a little bit complicated, but you can set up some automations. What's it called? Yeah, basically some automation scripts. The thing that comes with Apple by now, they bought something. Don't know the app name yet, but I always forgot to sync stuff, so I bit the bullet, and I'm syncing with Obsidian Sync right now. Yeah, manual syncing didn't work for me.
mirror copy of this script on my ThinkPad so I can sync back, and essentially it's just sync notes to and then sync notes back.
Yeah, actually I wanted to test out sync thing. I already installed it, but I haven't managed to set it up right now. Time is limited at the moment.
From, and it's going to keep it, two-way syncing updated. So it's really that simple. And in terms of my note structure digitally, essentially just, I figured I would show you my video ideas note here, since I don't really want to dox myself. I'd have to like blur so much in like my actual work-related notes that it just doesn't make sense to try to even show them. But for my video ideas notes, this kind of gets the idea across of how I take notes. And essentially just, I have a structure that I'm going to follow for whatever particular topic or note it is. So in this case, I've got the ideas I'm working on, then I go to the outline and taking notes on that idea stage, and this is like the next topic I was thinking.
Sam? Is it Sam? How do you do it? Do you script your videos, or do you mostly wing it? I tried scripting. It didn't work out for me that great. I don't know, I'm sitting in there writing some stuff, and then when I want to record, I always just wing it. Now I'm more doing something like an outline.
About working on. Then I got the recording stage, so this is the video I'm working on right now.
Also, I don't think, I don't know if you read stuff from your notes, or like have to memorize it. It's not working for me, and I don't have. Maybe if you have like teleprompter or something, but still, I think for me the outline and winging it is working all right now.
Now, then that goes to I have to make thumbnail and title and description, and then I upload it. So that's pretty much my workflow. I mean, it's honestly really straightforward and simple. And in terms of my actual notes, as I'm working on a video or another topic, honestly, they're pretty messy. I mean, having the markdown rendering does help a lot in terms of the organization, because I can have, headers, and I can have, different syntax highlighting throughout. So that definitely does help. And I talked about this plugin a lot, so I won't talk about it too much, but I'll link it in the description if you want it. But anyways, so that's, sort of my digital note-taking,
Exactly.
I don't know, workflow here. And I'm going to show you my notebook structure, since that's a lot more emphasis on the actual structure of how I have the notes done. Okay, so I have this dual page notebook setup that I use, and honestly I'm quite proud of it because it has evolved over the years. But to start with, I've just got my basic to-do list items. I much prefer physical to-do lists just because, I mean, it's satisfying to cross the items out once they're done, but also I just find it, a lot more likely for me to actually remember the item if I physically write it down, as opposed to typing it. So anyways, physical to-do list, date on the item if needed. I also have this space up here specifically for items that should be sort of in in my long-term memory for the coming weeks or possibly even months that I just want to carry over from page to page. Again, just kind of the idea of a written reminder is, more likely to kind of stay in my memory. I date the particular pages. Usually this dual page lasts me like 1 to 3 days, just depends on how much work there actually is to get done. The latter half of the page, so this is what I was talking about in terms of using a piece of paper to actually visualize what's in your head, in a way that you kind of can't really do on a computer in the same way. So, for me, what I like to do, anything big picture outlines or big problems.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can do it if you have like a pen or a graphics tablet, right? And use something like Excalidraw, something. Or if you're really good with the mouse.
To solve, anything that's going to be A to B to C to D, and then maybe D has an E, an F, and a G coming off of it. Anything that I need to draw it out, that's what goes here. And sometimes I will take, more complex long form notes in my notebook, but usually I try to do that, on my laptop, because honestly, like, my typing speed is so much faster than my handwriting, so it doesn't make sense to kind of shoot myself in the foot by, like, trying to handwrite those, long form complex notes. What writing is really good for is things that you need to focus on, things that need to be memorable. So just use, whatever tool is best suited for the job, right? Anyways, this other page is where it starts to get interesting, since this is what I use sort of more for personal reflection on the work I'm doing. This might be kind of more particularly applicable to me, or applicable.
She definitely has much better handwriting than me.
To somebody in my situation, but essentially for me, I built this in a few years ago, and it's really helpful. So every day I just write down, did I accomplish what I needed to do today? And that's a yes or no. And if not, then why not? And how can I improve on that? Because for me, it's really helpful to actually be able to identify, like, if I didn't accomplish what I set out to do, why didn't I? Like, what caused that? What set me off?
Yeah, like if you're really thinking stuff out and doing it on paper, I also feel it's a little bit more, it's easier and it's more satisfying, even though my handwriting is not that great and I'm not good at drawing.
Track, whether that's something, a personal reason, like I didn't get enough sleep, or, that's something work related. And
when I use the iPad, I also put on this paper-like screen protector to make it a little bit more like paper, but it's not the same.
Actually related to the job that I then need to go through and fix and solve, actually trying to reflect on it and write it down and sort of piece it out step by step, understand what happened, is really helpful to me. And just taking, 5 minutes at the end of the day to do this. And I also like to reflect on, okay, was anything especially good or especially bad about the day? To me, that's just helpful. It's just because if something bad does happen, kind of getting it out into a notebook and getting it out of your head is really helpful.
Yeah, it's like it's similar to a corn called Chocofy. Can you see it? Guess this is one half or both of these. It's too close. Maybe. Let me see. Maybe I can bring it up.
Helpful to kind of be able.
Yeah, it's one of those basically. Ah, you got a corn. Okay. Do you have the corn with the 6 rows or with the 5 rows? So. Oh yeah, you have the Voyager. It's also great, I think. It's like this, right? This one, yeah, it looks so nice. But I wanted to have it wireless. With the 6 ones. Okay. Yeah, you can also have it like with 5 rows. And I mainly switched because I didn't want to use my pinkies that often because, yeah, they mostly in the right arm I had a little bit of pain there. And that's actually why I switched. Yeah. So like Link, Glove 80. I don't know. I'm really satisfied with the 36 keys right now. Hope I can spell it right. I'm using this layout here. I wanted to use my own or make my own one day, but actually I just stuck with this one. Yeah, it's optimized for 36 keys and has a lot of layers, and it was quite easy to memorize because you can see, like, if I hold down my middle button, thumb button here on the right side, I have this number layer on the other side, and this is like a numpad, like these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. If I hold the function key, I have the F keys on the same place, like it's logically the same. And the symbols match the symbols on the, like the add is shift 2, right? They match the symbols on the number keys on the regular keyboard. So it was quite easy to remember, but the layout is not, like the symbols could be better laid out for programming, I guess. It's not optimal, but I got used to it. And yeah, it's like the alpha keys are Comac DH actually, or Comac DH M for these kind of keywords. I don't know. It's like a little mod. Yeah, and I also used the Comac thing. Reasoning behind that was I thought, I wanted to, if I switch the keyboard, then I can learn a real new layout anyway. So, and I thought maybe I can keep my muscle memory on a regular keyboard, like on a laptop keyboard, and like my brain switches modes basically. It was, yeah. Do you use the standard QWERTY, or did you also switch like your alpha layout? I think the most painful thing was switching the alpha layout. Oh, also, yeah, okay, great. Yeah, I guess I was really, really slow, but I forced myself to do it. And yeah, I was practicing each day for a few minutes, like half an hour, like practicing with monkey type and also key. How do you pronounce it? keybr.com, I think. Yeah, like that was where I learned Comac the most. Like you get new letters there. Yeah, try it. Just try it. I think it's been nice, but I wouldn't recommend it to everyone because, like, if you don't have any problems, I don't know, maybe it's preventive a little bit, but you can also do it with QWERTY, I think. Like, and the switch to just these kinds of keyboards without changing the alpha layer is not nearly as painful, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I also hate typing on the laptop keyboard. And also I'm using home row mods. Like if I press my, let's go back here. If I press T here, you see there's shift. If I hold it, if I just tap it, it's the T. If I hold it, it's shift. Same here for S and control, R and alt. And the super key is here on A. And on the other side, it's mirrored. This was also hard to get used to because it's timing based. At least in this version, there are different versions. Yeah. Yeah. Especially in the beginning, it was really hard because I also wasn't typing like regularly. I was typing slowly sometimes, and then I just accidentally hit these or triggered these modifiers. But Now I think it's really great because you can press any combination of these really easily, not like these contortions on a regular keyboard. Or if you would have these like you probably have on the outer columns with the pinky layers, with the pinkies, I think you can't press good combinations with these, right? Or not easily, like all four together. And yeah, I use like, I actually had a hyperkey configured that's all modifiers at the same time, basically. But nowadays, I really just press all my four fingers down for the hyperkey because it's just so easy. And I use this for switching to other desktops and stuff like that. Yeah. But I know what you mean with the lag, and sometimes I still, if I copy paste something or something like that, I still am too fast, and yeah, but it works out okay. I type like, I don't know, last monkey type I did was between 90, something around 90 to 100 words per minute on the default English stuff. Probably if I do it now, I will completely fail. But let's try. Let's try one time. I try to not talk with that, but also, no, I'm talking. Okay, I messed it up. But also these are not with modifiers, right? So the home row mods are not very okay. Talking and typing is not good. Okay. So just 74 or 72. Yeah. But if you would type with more, like you can, I'm not logged in. So what's the default? Come on, Shift P. Or it's like, yeah, you can put all kinds of other stuff in here, like with capitalizing and numbers and all the other stuff, and then okay. See you soon, Thiago. Yeah, then it gets much harder with the home row mods. But regularly, or usually, it's not bothering me anymore, and I can't imagine going back to living without home row mods. At least not for regular stuff. Gaming wouldn't work with that, I think. But then also, I don't have time to game anymore, so I haven't played a game on the PC with a keyboard like, I don't know, for years. Yeah. I always want to. My Steam library is very big with unplayed games. Yeah. Someday. Maybe if this YouTube thing works out and I just have to work 2 days a week or something like that, then I can dedicate more days for gaming again. Or maybe I'm just gonna stream some gaming. Then you can see how much I probably suck right now because I haven't played so long. Okay, just gonna
to forget about it and move on,
start the
especially if
video
it's
again.
something completely out of your control that it just needs to, like, you gotta stop thinking about it, you gotta let it go. Anyways, next up, what would I like to improve on overall, you know, for tomorrow or next week, or just in general, something that I want to improve on. So that's what I like to use, but obviously you can modify this, you know, as much as you wish. This is just sort of what I use, and I guess a template potentially for if you do want to start kind of reflecting in a work-related sense or a productivity-related sense. This is what I would start with. I also use a habit tracker. This actually belongs in my personal notebook rather than my work notebook, but I wanted to draw out the example just on one page here. So, habit tracker, essentially, I'm sure you've heard of it before.
I also tried this in a notebook. Must be lying around somewhere over there. Didn't stick with it.
Tracking, either a habit you want to build or you want to break. The one thing that I do that I don't know how many people do this, but I do have a marker for I was partway there to my goal. Just for the sake of if your goal is like to walk an hour every day and, say you walked 30 minutes, right? You're partway to your goal. You shouldn't put that as a total X. A total X is like you slept on the couch all day, right? So there's a very big difference between I slept on the couch all day versus I only walked, 15 minutes.
So it's a little bit like these symbols you also use on bullet journaling, right?
Or something like that. So I think,
that.
having a partway marker for me, that's helpful. Especially because, the
Wanted
whole
to
point
try
of a
it
habit
someday,
tracker is holding
maybe.
yourself accountable. You don't have to answer to anybody else. It's just yourself. So anyways, I do that. I also have a personal journal as well, and that's pretty much unstructured. But anyways, this is the structure I use. Okay, so it's significantly later, but I did want to show you guys a couple of other applications and tools that I use or have used or would generally.
TUI calendar and task manager. Okay, this sounds very interesting. Maybe there's also like a TUI habit tracker, because TUIs are really great, I think. I think it's good. Maybe you should read Atomic Habits or something like that. I've read it years ago, but I didn't really implement all of it. But there's the idea of stacking habits together. Like if you already have a habit like brushing your teeth in the morning, you just add another habit after that and stack these. I guess that's at least one of the ideas from the book. And also like keeping track and having like some sort of streak that you don't want to break. It's also like a little bit of a gamification thing you can do or can try.
Recommend for, I guess, various productivity related stuff. I do want to start by saying, like, don't fall into the trap of like using a million different productivity applications and spending more time on the productivity workflow than on actually getting stuff done. I feel like that's something that's kind of easy to fall into, so be careful of that, and when in doubt, kind of err on the side of minimalism and using less applications and just have one good system that actually does work for you. But anyways, so Calcure is the calendar application I've been using of late. I actually blanked my instance so I could show it to you guys, but it's got, your basic calendar layout. It's got Vim key bindings. It's got a nice little journal area.
Vim key bindings. That's a nice keyword here. Sam, how are you handling these? Do you use like a navigation layer or something? Because in Colmec DH, it's not optimal because you have to press everything with the one right digit, right? Like with this one finger. And I don't find it that comfortable. I know how to use it, but I tend to just use my navigation layer and skip HJKL most of the time. Yeah, exactly. Okay, same as me then.
It's pretty easy to add in various, different events. It has integration with other applications. Generally, it's a good program. It does its job. To be fully transparent with you, I honestly do a lot of my calendar management just directly in a physical real-life calendar.
Okay, that Miyoku doesn't have this as default. I just use arrow keys for most of the things. But in some programs, in some apps, there's just HJKL there, right? Yeah, okay. But for me, it's not HJKL where they would be, because that would be one to the left of the home row or of the where my digit would rest. I have it like, yeah, I can show you again. They are like this, like my digit. What's this finger called? Is it the digit? Like the pointing finger? It's called in German, like Zeigefinger. It's resting on here, and there are the arrow keys. Index, yeah, I knew that. Damn it. Listening and speaking is so much different.
Maybe I'm weird for that. I feel like most people don't do that anymore, but honestly, I do that. It works for me. But I do have Calcure here in case, there is anything else that I do want to manage digitally. The predecessor to Calcure is Calcurse, which, to be honest, I like the name Calcure. It's good pun on Calcurse. But anyways,
Yeah,
Calcurse was the original. It's just, a very basic calendar TUI application. It works. It does its job great. Honestly, I would recommend this one if you just want a minimal calendar that is functional, perfect, does its job. Calcurse. Another tool that I have been trying recently is Zeit, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, so don't skewer me, but I'm sure.
Hey, I can pronounce that. If it's German, then it's called Zeit. And it's called time.
I'm pronouncing it wrong, but anyways, Zeit is essentially for tracking your time spent on on various projects or tasks or whatever you're trying to accomplish. And the point is that you'll have essentially this graph at the end that you can view the time you spent on the various things, which honestly I find really interesting and really helpful because I am used to tracking it by hand. I've always
I tried tracking time for projects like this, but I actually didn't stick to it, unfortunately. I would like to have the data, but it's so cumbersome to always track it.
tracked the time I spent working on things, and tracking it by hand is a lot less efficient and it's a lot less accurate than actually tracking it properly with a program. So I've been experimenting with Zeit. I will probably make a full video about it at some point, but anyways, I did want to recommend it since I found it really useful thus far. But yeah, don't
Maybe
fall
I'll try it
into
out.
the pitfall of like using a million different applications and just spending more time on the system itself than on getting work done. That's about it. Good luck. I will see you next time.
Thank you.
Peace.
Oh, I forgot to like the previous video, by the way. I'm gonna like this one. Go. Oh, no, I don't. I want to go back, but I know this guy. I don't really know him, but I've seen his videos. He also has a Chocofy, actually, the same keyboard as me. And he was on the right side of Vim versus Emacs for some time, but now he's back to Emacs. And I actually don't know much about Emacs, so maybe we are gonna watch this video next and see what Emacs is like, this operating system, right? But I want to go back to the other video and just... There it was. Also
Okay, listen. So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go to an empty room.
I made a post the other day about how I am deeply integrating Emacs into my window manager, which is
20
Hyperlink.
minutes. Okay,
So much
maybe
so
we'll
that
skip a
Emacs
little
has
bit
become
through
my entire computing environment. It's my computer now.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, the editor wars were always like Emacs versus Vim, right? Back in the days. But yeah, lately I've also been hearing more about Emacs again. No, I haven't tried that. No, I haven't tried Helix either. I heard about it, but yeah, where's the time for that? For trying out all these things. But maybe I will try it one day.
Since then, the post has actually gone on to Hacker News, and there's been some lively conversation about Emacs and how I use it, and some questions, and people actually wanted to see a video.
You can. Why? I mean, if you're changing up your configuration all the time, you can also change up just to another editor, right? I could probably also do that, but I don't know. It's like I don't want to leave Vim. It's not really in an OS, but you can do almost everything in Emacs as far as I know. And it's not a terminal-based thing. It's a graphical editor. But you have terminals inside Emacs, I guess. You can also check your email or have a calendar there, or I don't know. Maybe the NeoVim thing is turning because it's so the plugin ecosystem is thriving also. Maybe it's also gonna be something like Emacs for some people, or someday. Maybe you can do also email inside of NeoVim someday.
Video about it. So here is the video.
Let's check out a little bit of what he does with Emacs.
To switch over to my screen now and kind of show you how I do things in my environment and how I have integrated Emacs so much so that it doesn't really matter if Emacs is on my screen. I can still grab it and interact with it, send a bunch of different key presses to it. Let's get into it. I'm just going to show you how this works.
Oops, sorry. Yeah, at work I actually have to use IntelliJ. I'm also in this project I'm currently on. We're on like some virtual machine remotely, and it's on Windows, and I don't even have WSL there, so very bad experience.
Works. Switch over to my monitor.
Okay, Thiago, thanks for being here, man.
Monitor here. Here's the blog post that I made about how I'm integrating Emacs into Hyperland. You can go read it on my blog. I'm just going to...
So I guess he's from Canada, from this abode, right?
Link it in the show notes. But the big question a lot of people are immediately going to say is, why aren't you using EXWM? And the reason behind that is twofold. One is that Wayland kind of seems to be the direction that window management on Linux is going. Don't shoot the messenger on that, but it does seem to be that Wayland is the direction that things are going. That's not to say that X11 isn't, there's no merit to it, or that it's not a good way of doing window management. It's just that I think that Wayland is where things are kind of moving.
Right?
So Hyperland is inevitably a Wayland manager. The second thing too is that Emacs is single-threaded, and as soon as you use Emacs as your window manager, you run the risk of things hanging pretty drastically when you're doing high compute activities. Even stuff such as updating your RSS feed or something like that causes Emacs to hang, and I don't want my window manager to hang. That's the only other reason that I'm not using EXWN, but that's probably... The second issue is probably fixable in...
So you can use Emacs as a window manager, right? Did I get this right?
Optimizations of your Emacs configuration. I'm not there yet, but there has been people that have said, hey, that's a little bit of an overstated worry. It's never happened to me. Or there's also people on the other side that are saying, yeah, it's something that actually drove me away from EXWM. So take that with a grain of salt. I'll talk about how I'm integrating Emacs into Hyperland, at least for this post.
Some motorcycle
the very first thing that kind of changed for me is that I wrote a little Go script.
Maybe see you next week or something like that. I'm gonna see you in one of your next videos, of course. And sorry I didn't reply to you yet, I guess. I'm really bad at replying to comments, actually. But yeah, thanks for being here, and see you around.
That allows me to launch all of my different keybinds from wherever in my system. So that is my Emacs launcher.go here, and that is my Go file that allows me to make system calls from anywhere in the system. And then I just add my Hyperland keybinds directly to this script, and things are very quick. This has sped up my workflow by probably about 10x. No word of a lie. I was previously using a bash script for each and every system call, and it was a little bit slow, to say the least. Let's say previously I wanted to activate these scripts, and I could do this from anywhere in my window manager. The thing is let's say I was on a different screen here, the Hacker News article. I'll talk about this in a little bit, but I wanted to copy this text, for example, and I hit Control-Shift-C. That actually brings me to a capture buffer in Emacs instantaneously. Okay. Previously, this was taking a little bit of time. It felt a little bit laggy. So this Go script has actually sped things up drastically. I'm going to just close out of that. Now, in the article, I kind of talk about how I launch Emacs. I don't launch Emacs very frequently, only when I really, really have to. It is loaded on system boot. Mm-hmm. So
that's what I thought. Like you started one time when you start your computer, and then you're always inside Emacs.
Other than that, I don't really touch that command, but it's there in case I do need it. One thing I'll mention is that I'm using Emacs client for everything in this setup. I am not using any other instances of Emacs. I am literally making calls directly to the one instance that is opened on workspace number 1. Workspace number 1 is Emacs only ever. I can open a terminal very easily by pressing Alt-E. There's a terminal right there in vTerm, and that actually allows me to get into Emacs anywhere on my system. You'll note that I'm on workspace number 2 in the top left here. Workspace number 1 is where Emacs lives. This is something that I've wanted to talk about for some time, and I actually will make a video about it. I've actually created a universal launcher for Emacs. This replaces Rofi or any of those launchers that you would have on Mac, for example. I don't use those anymore, really. I have Rofi as a fallback. I can still use it if need be, but generally I use this 95.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't tried it yet, but that sounds annoying, actually.
5% of the time. It's just a, 700 line package that.
And then is this Lisp?
I
so many
kind of vibe coded, and it actually allows me to launch
braces.
Any app in my system, do bookmark searches, use it for browsing the web. I'll do a little demo on it really quickly. I'll do an actual dedicated video on it in the future. But I hit Alt space.
Okay, so now I have a question to you, Zarek. Zarek, I guess. I'm still new to streaming. Okay, yeah, now you're here at the participants. Okay, did you just join here, or have you been inside the chat a little bit longer here? Because I can't actually see who's here. I think there's a participants thing, but okay. If I'm also a participant, then the concurrent viewers would match up with the 3 names here. Just join. Okay. Hi. Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you. Still new to the streaming stuff. Yeah, just watching a few videos and yeah, chatting a little bit, but I'm actually just talking. The other people are chatting. At least 2 other people were chatting until now. You're the 3rd one. Yeah, and as I don't really know much about Emacs, I thought I'm gonna watch this one. Oh, that's great. Thank you. Glad you like the stuff I make. Hope to get out some more videos soon again. For now, I'm at least dedicated to have a stream once a week on Wednesdays. For now, I'm just, trying out some random stuff or watching some other videos. Maybe I'll think of something else I can do on a live stream here. Not sure if I want to do live coding.
I'm brought back to Emacs in workspace number 1. And let's say I want to SSH into my phone, for example. So SSH into my phone, and there's Termux, there I am. So
he's actually SSHing into his phone.
That's kind of fun.
That's
I can
cool.
use it to SSH in an Emacs paint. I can do other stuff like, let's say I want to search the web, and I can pick one of various documentation or search engine providers. So let's say I want to use, I don't even know, the Emacs docs to search the web. You could do that. What else do we have in here? We have bookmarks. So let's say I want to go to the dot files of Henrik Listener, who is the creator of Doom Emacs and also a Nix guy. There they are right there. And I also
The Nix cult. Nix and Emacs.
save bookmarks pretty frequently with Control Shift and then B in here. What else can I do? There's various things that I built into this. I can go to previous files. This is a file that I'm working on right here. It's saved into my system. I can look at my to-dos. I can do a number of...
That's right, Thiago. It's not always the thing you should do if you can do it.
different things. There's a calculator built into it. I'll do a more deep video on it a little bit
As I said, it's probably more like an operating system.
later, but it's kind of nice to say the least. I've already touched on this one a little bit, but I captured org mode anywhere in my system, so I could be...
But org mode, I saw a video a few years ago about org mode, and that seemed really nice. Also in Emacs, because it's a graphical editor and not based on a terminal, you can have different font sizes. That's sometimes cool for like headings and stuff.
on any workspace, and I can save notes, calendar
You can do
items
that in Vim or new Vim, at least for now. I think I forgot the name, but the guy who makes the Kitty terminal is working on some kind of font protocol or something where you can also have different font sizes inside the terminal. And I listened to a podcast of Link with the Justin Keys, the new Vim core main guy behind new Vim, and he said that he wanted to adopt this protocol. So maybe that would be the time to switch to Kitty, actually, because I'm still on Westterm actually, even though I made this video about Ghosty coming out. Still Westterm, but I'm using it with Tmux again, because in the beginning when I switched to Westterm, I didn't use Tmux anymore because I just used splits and windows of Westterm. I didn't really follow the releases, but it still works for me just fine. I hope it will work and it will be maintained a long time, because I think it's one of the coolest terminals. But probably I could work in almost every other terminal as well. But it's cool that it's cross-platform. That's the one thing, or one of the things I install on this Windows virtual machine I have to work on for my day job. Okay. Cool. Did you upgrade to Tahoe already? I think I won't do that. Yeah. To be honest, my workflow wouldn't change that much. Yeah, I won't do it. I saw enough Reddit posts that say it's really bad and many memory leaks and stuff like that. Okay. Yeah. anyway, I just have a browser open, or I have my terminal open, right? Like, okay, and you see I just opened my West term, and I'm going inside like a Tmux session automatically. And like, yeah, I just switch between these most of the time, terminal or browser. So it's not much. And I have this tiling window manager, right? So I'm not really using many features of macOS. It's nice that it works with my camera and my microphone, and I don't have to worry about that. And yeah, probably on Linux it wouldn't be my workflow wouldn't be that different. Oh, thank you. It's actually the background itself is generative AI. Like, I just let it generate, but I wanted to have something in these kind of colors to match the Tokyo Night theme. Yeah, but that's one of the things. I don't know, why should I switch to Tahoe? It's not one of, I don't need any of the new features. Yeah, I still have the original line on up here. If I need to do something like, I don't know, I don't want to stick my regular sketchy bar, it's called here, with so many widgets, but sometimes like to, I don't know, what do I use this for actually? If I have Keycaster on or something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I will stay even longer, because as long as it works, and I just have this M1 Mac, yeah, and I think the new liquid glass stuff is very demanding on the hardware. Yeah. Okay, but let's see what the
to-dos, ideas, notes, whatever. I access those notes with a very quick keybind right here. So if I need to get into my notes super quickly from anywhere in the system, can do it right here. You'll note that all of the keybinds are essentially the hyperland format. So bind, and then the modifier keys, the
so this basically
alphabetical key, and then it browsing. So I can hit Alt F, and that actually brings me up into my Dervish screen. So I can go into like my photos, but whatever. It's super nice. And people ask maybe like, why not Durhead? Well, I just like Dervish for like the image previews, so you can get like cool images and stuff like that.
Emacs, right?
It's whatever. It's very similar to like Yazzie or Ranger in the terminal.
Looks like Yazzie. Yeah, that's what I would.
You know what else? I've already touched on bookmarks a little bit too, so I can save them with a capture, and then I can actually pull them up with an email link here on my page. I can actually just pull up my email right here and just write an email super quickly, send it, and be back to what I was doing before.
What?
I've built my feed reader into Emacs with LFeed, so Control-Alt-Z brings up my feed reader, and I can go see all of the various feeds that are going on. See if my post is up here. There you go. How I'm deeply integrating Emacs. There's that too. Music playing. People were like, why do you play music in Emacs? Like, it's such a distraction. And to be honest with you, I think it's actually less of a distraction than it would be to switch to like a GUI client like Spotify or something like that. You have less distractions. You can actually just see the music, the titles of the songs that you want to play. And that's easily built in with M's. And then finally, there's this Thanos type, which is the Wayland version of Emacs Anywhere, that you can literally just pull up an Emacs buffer and edit text right here and just say, this is a new URL. Control C, and you can actually just go to it like that. Sometimes it doesn't type the whole thing, but it's probably a skill issue on my side. The question is, will I use EXWM? Maybe. I think that there's truly a lot that you can build into Hyperland and Wayland for Emacs. One of the comments on Reddit was actually like talking about how you can do first in, first out and execute keyboard macros on the Emacs side, and then integrate that into Hyperland and use Hyperland almost as the client, where Emacs essentially controls Hyperland. It's an interesting
really
idea.
involved.
I'd have to look into it. Percent agree with this post, and it's one of the Linux holistic issues that you can run into. It's a trap that you can run into by using Linux. You can over optimize everything and get no real work done, and that is 100% the truth and happens all the time. It's happened to me in the past.
Yeah, you can do that on Linux. You can do that with Vim, with new Vim, with your terminal, with everything, your window managers. It also can happen on macOS or even on Windows. I don't know if I will find it now, but let's try. Glaze WM, I think. There's actually like tiling window managers for Windows. Yeah, I saw this video sometime.
How many windows could a Windows window manager tile if a Windows window manager...
You can even like...
Whew. We got there. Winutil equips us with a couple of great tools for setting up a new Windows 11.
This is also not looking like Windows, right? See if the quality is a little bit better now.
System. I don't know about you, but every time I set up a Windows system, I go, and it's just of temp and reliable. I chose standard,
you also
which
have
does
like
a couple of things to make your home network.
Like a bar on top where you can see the desktops here, and he has tiling working.
Picking your setup, any ISOs as you want.
I don't know how
plug
to
it into your machine.
How long
in Windows 11
set up this, but you can tweak every operating system. It's not just a Linux thing. I think
it probably still happens to me today. But one of the things that it can go on forever.
This is so great. And the learning curve of VI or Vim, just straight up. Then you're the master. It's not really true.
Forever. It follows you throughout your entire journey, and it meets you where you need to be met. There's no other tool that even comes close to that.
Really
I know
much
which is
end,
there.
So I'm gonna skip this. I guess I'll be here for another good 30 minutes or something. Then I'm gonna go try to get some sleep. Any recommendations or any suggestions what we want to watch or what we want to do from any of you? If there's still someone here. Type. Yeah. I see. See what you mean. Like it's he built his own operating system basically, right? Yeah, but it depends on what you do, I think. So I don't know, like on my day job, this wouldn't work. Yeah, because so much process and regulations and stuff. You couldn't even have a workflow like that. But if I would just develop stuff for myself, or then you can optimize just for your own workflow, right? See. Oh, there's like a Sam video again. Oh, there's new Steam hardware coming out. This is completely okay. It's a little bit in this space, right? It's Linux-based operating system, also Arch-based. That runs on Steam Deck. Is there a new Steam controller with these pads? Okay, I think I have to watch this video right now. Hope you all also just like this a little bit. It's the nearest thing I get to
Hey everyone!
Playing games, just watching stuff about games or gaming hardware or software right now.
This is Steam Deck. Steam Deck is our powerful, portable, handheld gaming PC that lets you take your Steam library with you anywhere. We're pretty proud of it. People who own Steam Decks have been playing everywhere, and we couldn't be happier with the response we've heard from all of you. We're excited to talk about the future of Steam Deck, but not today, because this isn't a video about the future of Steam Deck. This is a video about the future of Steam hardware. Today, we're announcing 3 new members of the Steam hardware lineup. All connect you with powerful PC gaming. All are optimized for gaming with Steam, and all are shipping in early 2026. Let's start with this one.
Just an announcement. The controller. That will be great. I've had a Steam Deck in my hand and I liked.
This is the new Steam controller. The new Steam controller puts all of your Steam games at your fingertips, so you can play wherever and however you want.
Yeah, the first one did look really goofy. I didn't try it. I didn't know anyone who had one. But it was looking awesome. Like you had this haptic feedback on these like basically trackpads, right? Probably was really great for shooters, I guess.
Just like with Steam Deck,
not as great as with a mouse and the keyboard, but better than a regular controller, I guess.
We want you to be able to play any game with your Steam controller, even games never built with a controller in mind. It has all the great features from Steam Deck, like trackpads, gyro, and back buttons, all in a comfortable form factor. Its next-generation magnetic thumbsticks let you play with improved responsiveness and longevity.
So, TMR or Hall effect?
We've put capacitive touch sensors on the thumbsticks and now on the back of the controller too, so you can enable precision gyro aiming with the touch of your thumb, or your pinky if you're feeling fancy. Play for way too long with a rechargeable lithium-ion battery that allows for over 35 hours of playtime. With Steam Controller, we want to make
35 hours, okay. That's a little bit long. It reminds me of my youth when we went to LAN parties. Like, didn't sleep for 2 days. And then I drove my car like 5 hours. After that, wouldn't recommend. Lucky to be still alive, I guess.
Charging and wireless pairing, something that's actually easy. That's why we created the Puck. The Puck is a combination wireless adapter and magnetic charger included with every Steam controller. Snap it on to charge. Once you're charged up, snap it off again. You can play over Bluetooth or a wired connection too. The new Steam controller works with any device running Steam or Steam Link, whether it's a PC, Mac, handheld, smartphone, Steam Deck, or the new Steam Machine. Oh! This is the new Steam Machine.
You're a young guy if I 1986, right? Probably your birth year. Or I don't know, guy? Yeah, I guess guy. I can't see the picture really big. But that's what I assumed.
Steam Machine is a powerful gaming PC in a small but mighty package, designed for your games on the big screen. It's quiet too, which is crazy, since it's 6 times more powerful than a Steam Deck, powered by a discrete, semi-custom AMD GPU, enabling 4K gaming at 60 frames per second with FSR. Steam Machine runs SteamOS made for a bigger screen, built for gaming in your living room, your office, or wherever you play, with the rest of your PC accessories. Steam Machine borrows some great features from Steam Deck, like lightning-fast sleep and wake, an SD card slot to easily...
That's actually, like, when these machines come out right now, or like early next year, then maybe SteamOS will also be available for other hardware, right? Because I'm not sure if I wanted to just get really this Steam machine, depending on the price and what hardware really is inside. Or maybe just build a small form factor PC with beefier hardware for maybe less money and put SteamOS on that.
Expand your storage and bring some new tricks of its own, like a customizable LED strip, which can show different system functionalities, or your own light show. Steam Machine is a PC, so run whatever software you want, and it works with all your favorite desktop and gaming accessories. Steam Machine is designed to work hand in hand with the Steam controller, with the low latency, wireless connectivity of the Steam controller puck built right in. And it's great for streaming your games.
I know. But like, you have this console-like experience if you just boot in SteamOS, like on the Steam Deck that I tried out. It was a nice experience, at least. And I guess there's Bazzite or something like that, like quite like a fork of that, or quite similar to SteamOS, but I haven't tried it yet.
To your phone, tablet, laptop, Steam Deck, or Steam Frame. Oh, yep.
Steam Frame.
This is Steam Frame.
Okay, now it'll be interesting. Some kind of VR headset.
Steam Frame is Valve's next generation VR hardware.
This looks similar to the Apple Vision thingy. Okay. Sounds great. NixOS. One of the things I also want to try out someday. For now, I just have this one MacBook, and I have a little mini PC here where I maybe could try it out, but it's running Fedora right now.
Stream all your Steam games, VR and non-VR alike, in this comfortable, lightweight, wireless VR headset. Steam Frame uses camera-based tracking, so getting into your games is as easy as slipping on the headset and waking it up. Steam Frame controllers
looks quite small, so maybe it's comfortable.
Included with the headset are designed with all the
The great use case for this, for me, would be if the screens were really cool, like really high quality, that you can read text in a good resolution, to just use that for work, like on the go. You have like a big monitor in front of you, something like that.
inputs you need for your VR titles, like motion controls and capacitive tracking for all your fingers, as well as a split gamepad layout to work with your whole Steam library. They even feature the same magnetic thumbsticks as Steam controller for responsiveness and longevity. Steam Frame also pairs seamlessly with the new Steam controller, a great companion for playing non-VR games in the headset. To make sure streaming is smooth and stable no matter what, Steam Frame includes a wireless adapter that lets you stream your games from your PC to your headset over a fast and dedicated Wi-Fi 6 connection. And the game is streamed to your frame optimized for VR, using new technology that allows for the highest resolution streaming exactly where your eyes are looking. And Steam Frame is a PC, running SteamOS. In addition to streaming, you can install and play a bunch of VR and non-VR games right in the headset without a host PC. You can...
Yeah, it would be. I tried one of these like glasses with these displays inside, like can't remember the name. But the quality wasn't there for me, at least. It was like on the edge it becomes less sharp.
You can also expand your onboard storage to fit even more games with a micro SD card. Steam controller, Steam machine, and Steam Frame. All built with the same DNA as Steam Deck. All powered by Steam, work together, and can be used however you'd like with whatever peripherals and accessories you choose. Everything you see here is the culmination of what we've learned from our previous hardware experience and what we've wanted ourselves as gamers. Powerful PC gaming in an open ecosystem, giving you more ways to enjoy the games you love and discover new ones. Steam Controller, Steam Machine, and Steam Frame are all shipping in early 2026. Learn more at steampowered.com/hardware.
Let's take a look. There are some kind of specs here. Buy now, add to wish list. Okay. Learn more. Okay, yeah, here, up there, maybe. Yeah, okay, it's just, they said it's a custom GPU, right? So, no concrete specs here. Okay. But the controller really looks cool. Yeah, like Hollow Knight is one of the few games I played, few recent games because it came out years ago, right? But I don't know when. It's like 5-6 years ago, I guess, when I played it last time. But it was a great game. Did you also play Silk Song? YouTube. Yeah, but it's still cool. Okay. Linus has a video about it. I don't know. Do you want to see it? Or is it not that interesting? I can watch it on my own time also. Snake game programming in under 10 minutes. Looks interesting in Rust. Yeah, it was nice. Maybe we can connect some other ways. Yeah, it's okay. I'm really bad with messaging, like in general, like all my family and friends also know that. And comments and DMs. I'm gonna be better at that soon. Yeah. I'm gonna hop off in about 15 minutes anyway, so thanks for joining and see you around, I guess. Next week I'm gonna stream again, like every Wednesday I think, for the next few weeks and see how it goes. At least there's not no one here. There's some people here and some interaction. That's really fun. Cool. Like around the same time, maybe a little bit sooner. Earlier, I guess. Okay. See you around. Thanks for joining. So, any other wishes? Well, this guy is a great filmmaker. Thanks, you too. Actually a good night for me. Gonna go to sleep after this. Dreams of autonomy is also interesting. Okay, now I'm scrolling. Not cool. Let's just. I'm gonna do this next time. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm not sure what to watch next. I'm just gonna do it like a little bit randomly. I'm just gonna reload. I'm going to scroll down, and then I'm going to click. Let's see what we got here. Ah, that's too long. 20 minutes. I can't do 20 minutes. Let's do it again. Astro.
Are you tired of using a clunky and outdated text editor for your development?
Okay. Not working out so good. That's also too low. Oh, it's just a clip from the thing, but it's too long. Okay, let's see what a really productive Arch Linux setup looks like.
I really like Linux. I love customizing my stuff, having full control over everything I use, using open source software, and of course, the moral superiority that comes with using Linux. But I didn't start using it for any of those reasons. You see, I started using Ubuntu a year or two ago because I despise having to work on Windows. Constant distractions, lack of customization, and kinda slow sometimes. I also much prefer the Linux kernel/file system. I know that WSL exists, but it's just not enough for me. Anyways, after a few months of using Ubuntu, I realized how much more productive I was, and so I decided to push that productivity to the max. I started messing around with KDE, which eventually led me to try i3. i3 led me to try a few other tools, and down the rabbit hole I went. A few months later, I swapped to Arch Linux and started using it 90% of the time, and dual booting to Windows only when necessary, which was really just for gaming. So in this video, I'll walk you through what I found to be the most optimized setup for productivity. But before we get started, I'd like to address 3 really important things. Firstly, if productivity is truly your only goal, then you should simply get a Mac, buy into everything in the Mac ecosystem, and use what your corporate overlords tell you to use.
Yeah, I'm on a Mac. I don't know if I would sign off on that.
However, if you want to do things for a hell of a lot cheaper, well, free, almost all of the software I use is open source, then the few days that you'll spend setting up Linux will be well worth it. Secondly,
and it can be fun, I guess. Also, like, customizing the Mac was also fun.
Not everything has to be specifically about productivity. The best way to be productive is to enjoy your work, and there's nothing wrong with having some fun configuring your tooling. A lot of the software that I mentioned in this video is...
Yeah, you're struggling. Why exactly you're struggling? I can see some things are not as nice, but you can get a somewhat decent tiling window manager if you want to. Like I'm using Aerospace. You can install a nice terminal, and if your workflow is mostly in the terminal, then you have a browser, you have a terminal, and you have a like this window manager. For me, it's actually good enough right now. And yeah, i3 is a little bit different. But you can also use other tools like Rectangle or something like that if you prefer that. But yeah, I think mostly you can set it up in a way that it's pretty usable. What exactly are the pain points? Like, yeah, it's a little bit quirky. If you like have, you can't even see it here. Like have this window here, yeah, like the hack that Aerospace is doing, like it puts it on the corners of your screen, the windows you don't see, these virtual desktops, but it's a workaround they actually have to do because of macOS restrictions, right? And sometimes it's a little bit buggy. Okay. But you can use like tiling, right? It's not just this. You can also like resize these. You can now I have to think about my shortcuts because I rarely do this. Yeah, it's not like a BSP WM thing that it's like doing this this tiling automatically, but you can achieve at least the layouts you want to. But I see that it's not exactly the same like as i3 or something. Or Qtile, but I haven't used Qtile actually. Yeah, probably. I don't know. I have dedicated, like you see on my sketchy bar here, the 7, 8, 9 are like the screens or workspaces that are pinned on my MacBook display here. Like I have just a MacBook display and the main display, and most of the time I just use the main display. But when streaming or something like that, then like the secondary display is useful. Otherwise, I find single monitoring, when you have the switching abilities, like you can switch to anything so fast, single monitor is more comfortable, actually. But if you have to chat to the side here, then secondary monitor is okay. But you can also, you can, like, I don't know, like, yeah, let's do this. Can set certain apps here to certain workspaces automatically, and it can also force workspaces to certain monitors and something like that. But it's not very intuitive to set up. I give you that. But with a little bit of tinkering, can get a long way. Yeah, you're right. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, sometimes it switches the apps. If you have like the same app with different windows on different monitors, there's some quirkiness inside there, right? Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's not perfect, but most of the time it's good enough. And yeah, I don't know if maybe I will switch again in the future. I was coming from Linux before getting this Mac. This Mac is actually supplied from my employer. Like it's a work Mac, but I have a separate partition and for my private stuff. So when I'm like today, I'm not having any work related stuff on this partition. And it's good enough to be my only computer. So at least laptop, and it's my main computer. I just have this mini PC, as I said. But I like to have the flexibility to also work somewhere else. So like in a coffee shop or something, sometimes I get these strange looks with the split keyboard and the roost stand I'm using for my MacBook to get it on eye level. I don't know if you know it. Okay, there's a new version, I guess. I have the old one, version 2, but it's basically just like that. Yeah, that's. But sometime in the future, maybe I will get another laptop with Linux on it again. We'll see. Okay.
It's more related to customization.
Let's try to.
Than is productivity, and that's fully intentional. I, as a person, am much happier using software that helps me be productive and that looks good. And finally, as usual, this is not a tutorial video. I'll show you everything I use and why I use it, but I'm not going to walk you through the setup of every single tool. But if you'd like me to, please leave a comment and let me know. Okay, let's start with the really important stuff. Firstly, a display manager. This is kind of just your lock screen in a way. Oh, and by the way, I can't really record this with OBS, so enjoy this real life recording. Because we're going for maximum productivity, we're going with an incredibly minimalistic, speedy, and Vim binding supporting display manager called LY. It does literally nothing but log you in, which is perfect for our use case. As mentioned, it supports Vim bindings, and you can also optionally use one of two effects: matrix text, which looks like this, or the Doomfire effect, which looks like this. However, I don't personally use these because my brain literally cannot handle this happening on 3 different monitors. Next, your window manager. There are a lot of equally valid options for this, but I went with i3. It's simple, it does exactly what it needs to do and nothing more, and it runs on X11. That might be a downside for some, but I generally prefer older tooling that works with almost any program you throw at it. That is, compared to Wayland, which the last time I tried it, struggled to let me screen share on Discord. Next,
how old is this video? Like 8 months ago, okay. I don't know if, are you on Wayland or on X11 still? I guess you can just use Sway on Wayland, right?
Next,
basically i3 for Wayland.
Compositor. I spent a lot of time thinking about whether or not to include a compositor in this video, but it's really not necessary for pure productivity. However, as I previously mentioned, not everything has to be specifically about productivity, and this is certainly a case where that idea applies. Now, there aren't that many options for X11, but if you did choose to go the Wayland route, there are a lot of options, like 20 or more, according to the Arch Linux wiki. With that being said, we're going with pcom. Pcom is awesome. It has very nice documentation, and most of the time it just works. It also supports all of the fancy things you might want from a compositor: transparency, shadows, fading, and most importantly, animations. Next, a notification daemon. You might ask why
animations sometimes look cool, but I'm trying to minimize those most of the time. So no animations.
Putting this in the important stuff section. There's one very good reason for that. Electron, a cross-platform JavaScript framework that a lot of your favorite applications are built on, Discord, Spotify, VS Code, Figma, and more, implodes when it doesn't have something to send notifications to. So in other words, Electron-based apps, like the ones that I just mentioned, instantly crash the moment a notification is sent if there's no notification daemon installed. And don't think that it won't. I promise you, it will find a way to send some irrelevant notification. With all that being said, we're going with Dunst. It's extremely customizable and very easy to set up, which is why it deserves a spot in this video. Okay, on to the less important stuff. This is the section for stuff that I would recommend, but is totally not necessary. First up is a terminal emulator. We'll go with Kitty here. It's extremely fast, allows for rendering of images in the terminal, multiple tabs, sessions, and a bunch of other customizable features that are generally effective at making you more productive. Next, some sort of screenshot tool would be really useful. As is the common trend in this video, there are a lot of different options here. However, I chose to go with a tool called Flameshot for 2 specific reasons. Firstly, it's simple, yet it allows you to do a lot with your screenshots. And secondly, using Flameshot means that I don't have to use anything from GNOME. But again, there are a lot of different options. Next, a file browser. I briefly mentioned this in my previous video about my note-taking setup with NeoVim, but I'll cover it again here. I primarily use Ncubed as my file browser because it's super fast, supports Vim motions, and is super lightweight. No, really, it's like 3 megabytes in total. However, I use the Thunar file browser from XFCE anytime I need a GUI, like when I'm editing videos. Ncubed sadly doesn't allow you to drag and drop files. Next is a blue light filter. The past few pieces of software that I've mentioned may be a little bit off topic.
I'm still on the fence if this is really something that is actually useful.
As in not directly related to productivity, but a blue light filter will usually help you sleep better, which directly impacts your productivity. It means that you don't have to be flashbanged every time you open up a tab that isn't in dark mode at 10 o'clock at night. For instance, I'm writing this in Google Docs at the moment, and I'm only being mildly flashbanged because of my blue light filter. Anyways, on a Linux machine running X11, the best option for a blue light filter is a program called Redshift. As with most other things in this video, it's pretty customizable, which is, awesome. This next one might be a bit obvious, but I felt like it's worth noting. A simple and effective web browser is really important to productivity, and that's why I'd like to introduce Opera GX. No, I'm joking, please don't leave. In all seriousness, just use Firefox. It's simple, and it works. I should note that I have run into one problem with it in the past. Videos in AP Classroom won't play correctly on Firefox. The only browser that works is Chrome, but that's AP Classroom. So thanks to the nonprofit
I don't know, AP Classroom, something for college, I guess.
College Board for making a super accessible website. And finally, if you're going to be coding, you should probably decide on your editor. I of course vouch for NeoVim, but it's really up to you. VS Code, Vim, Emacs, Sublime Text, Visual Studio, IntelliJ, and the list goes on. And for our final little category, customization. I should warn you that this section may be a little bit less focused on productivity and it might turn into a yap session about how I customize my system. Starting off with fonts. This may be surprising to you, but I found that using the right font helps me focus.
This is a great font for coding, I guess. I don't know. Probably. I don't know what was the sublimetext.com. See what's new. So when is this build? Like, yeah, May. Not that many builds anymore, but still alive. Oh, there's also Sublime Merge. Didn't know they had like a Git client. Cool. But I need to find out what this font is, and I need this for my code font.
And write faster, whether I'm writing code or the script for my next video. I use the hack font for my terminal and JetBrains Mono for the rest of my system.
I actually used JetBrains. Okay, can't talk. Used JetBrains Mono for a long time, and now I'm on Josefka. Yeah, it looks like from Lord of the Rings or something. Josefka. Because it's like giving me more room. Horizontally? No. Vertically? I don't know. More text side by side. Like, you can see if you Zefka here. Let's comment this out. This is JetBrains Mono, the default. And Josefka is like more dense. You can see more code side by side or something like that. I really like that.
Also, when I'm not forced to write in Times New Roman, I use the font Proxima Nova at 11 point normal weight. Next up, wallpapers. As I said, we're getting off topic here. There are a bunch of wallpapers in my dot files, but there's also a bunch of other places to find wallpapers online. You could check out the Arch Linux Discord server or somewhere like r/Unix I don't want this video taken down. And don't forget.
Yeah, hack is also nice. Regarding wallpapers, I'm still, if I go in the rabbit hole and search for a wallpaper, I don't know, I'm not satisfied most of the time. So this I actually let generate by, I'm not sure actually, like Midjourney probably. And it turned out quite nice.
To use Google image search to search by images. One thing that would actually kind of help in terms of productivity is being able to switch and view all of your wallpapers without having to use a silly GUI. For this, we're going to use Fe. It's dead simple. Just type Fe, background scale, name. You can even add this to your i3 config if you like. And one more thing to mention in the name of customization, a simple GTK theme manager. There's a lot of software that uses GTK, so being able to easily swap themes is, nice. I just use LX Appearance. Again, it's simple and it does exactly what it needs to do. Okay, and finally, one other thing to mention before we...
That's good to know. When I was dabbling with Hyperland last time and switching themes, I didn't know how to do it actually.
Wrap up. You may have heard of the phrase system maintenance, and if you're running a distro like Arch, you definitely should have heard of this phrase. All it really means is to take care of your stuff. For this, I use a script that I stole from this guy. Again, to be completely clear, this is not my code. I just put it in a script and gave credit to the guy who actually wrote it. I run this once every month, then restart my system to make sure everything is still running properly. You can find this script in my dot files. That being said, this is definitely the bare minimum. Consider thinking about what else might need to be maintained. And if you have a bunch of configs that need to be maintained and struggle with a tiny bit of configuration addiction, start a maintenance schedule. For instance, I spend 3 months thinking about changes that I want to make to my system and to my NewVim config. Then I make all of those changes in one day. That way
That's actually a nice way to do it. Not tinkering all the time with your config. Like, just write down stuff you want to change or something and go on with working on real stuff.
I don't constantly spend a bunch of time obsessing over perfection. Also, as with any script that you run, please read through it and make sure you understand what it's doing before you actually run it. I'd like to leave you on this note. Perhaps in the pursuit of maximum productivity, we've lost touch with what it means to be truly productive. Perhaps all of this configuration is a waste of time, and perhaps it is better to accept the fact that some software simply isn't perfect. And perhaps we should all just cope a little bit. So with that being said, I'll be completely uninstalling Arch Linux tomorrow and purchasing a Mac instead. May my corporate overlords have mercy on me.
Nice. So I guess anything someone wants to know, ask, or something. Otherwise, I'm overdue for bed, I guess. Thanks for everyone here, for joining, for chatting with me, or for simply being here. Next week, around the same time, like 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours before now, around 20 or 21 p.m. Okay, o'clock, like 8 to 9 p.m. or something. I'm gonna start streaming next Wednesday again. Not sure if we are just watching videos or doing something else. Okay, I can change the scene here, right? Not used to OBS and scene switching. Yeah. Thank you. And yeah, thanks for being here. Hopefully see you next week again or something like that. And sorry for hitting the microphone. Yeah, see you around and take care. Bye bye.